Hello and welcome to this spotlight episode on the Union, a quick look at lesser known locomotives from the early days of steam. Manchester and its surrounding towns was once world renowned for the quality of its heavy engineering and indeed locomotive manufacture. Firms such as Bayer Peacock, Sharp Stewart, Naismith Wilson and lesser firms like Rothwell and Company, Hick Hargreaves and William Fairbairn and Son all called the city or its environs home. Rothwell and Company of Bolton, where Fred Dibner was from the nose, began life as Rothwell, Hick and Rothwell in 1822 at the Union Foundry. The firm had been established by Peter Rothwell and his son, together with Benjamin Hick. Born in Huddersfield in Yorkshire into a Unitarian family, Hick had been apprenticed at the Round Foundry of Fenton, Murray and Wood in Leeds, where the first commercially successful steam locomotives had been built in 1812. Hick later left Rothwell in 1834 to start his own firm, Benjamin Hick and Sons, latterly Hick, Hargreaves and Company, which company is still in one form or another still trading. Hick's first locomotive was built by Rothwell's and was the aptly named Union or The Union, the sources differ. It was built for the ramshackle Bolton and Lee Railway, the operation of which was leased to Hick's future son-in-law and business partner, John Hargreaves. Incidentally, Hick was related through marriage via his mother-in-law to William Schwenk Gilbert, one half of the famous Victorian musical duo Gilbert and Sullivan. But getting back to engineering, this first locomotive ran in the December of 1830, the Bolton Chronicle reported. On Thursday last, we accompanied the new locomotive engine, the Union, just completed by Messrs. Rothwell Hick and Company of this town, whilst making her first experiment upon the Bolton and Lee Railroad. And when running without any load other than her tender, she went at a rate varying from 20 to 30 miles per hour, and with a heavy train of loaded coal wagons at a rate of 12 miles an hour. We ought to observe that there was an inclination of 12 feet in a mile to overcome, as well as a very severe curve. We were much pleased with the compact and neat appearance of this engine, the boiler being placed in an upright position in order to expose as much surface of water as possible to the action of the heat of the fire. It was by all accounts a very unusual machine. It had a vertical boiler, which the Anti-Stevenson London Mechanics magazine, whom we've met before in these videos, thought was far superior to the horizontal multitubular boiler as essayed by Robert Stevenson and Henry Booth on the Rocket. This wasn't the first use of a vertical boiler on a steam locomotive, as the Perseverance by Timothy Burstall had used one at the Rainhill Trials. Ross Winans in the United States would also come to favour the vertical boiler with his suite of Grasshopper locomotives in the 1830s. As originally built, the Union had two horizontal cylinders working the driving wheels through levers and a rocking shaft. It was later rebuilt with three vertical cylinders working a triple-throw crankshaft. The final drive to the wheels, which were made up from wrought iron plates, was through a gear train. Unusually, the cylinders were open at the bottom, meaning that they were single-acting. This was thought to make the locomotive more stable and to save steam. The exhaust steam was passed through a long exhaust pipe into the chimney, exiting via coned blast pipe. The Union was used to pull the first through passenger train from Liverpool to Bolton in June 1831. Despite only pulling two carriages named the Elephant and the Castle, it was unable to ascend the steep checker-bent incline unaided, and the Union was helped up by the stationary engine at the summit. Due to fears of the engine losing control of her carriages, the stationary engine was also used to lower the train down the other side, down the equally steep Daub Hill incline. Hick took out letters patent on his unusual machine in October 1834, and if Francis Wishaw is to be believed, the Union was still in use as late as 1839, when it is recorded as being one of several oddities worked by the Bolton and Lee Railway. So that's the story of an unusual and little-known locomotive, the first of many hundreds to be built in the proud Lancashire town of Bolton. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and do keep the conversation going in the comments below.